gonna be freehanding this first one because it's my first anime review, I guess. But yeah, this is basically what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna try to do a few of these, maybe like a month, like maybe like 4 a month, something like that, like maybe 1 a week. It seems pretty good. These do have to be highly edited. Like I'm gonna, well, I can't really put in clips, but I can put in pictures and stuff like that. So, you know, if you wonder why I keep looking over here, it's because I have the main things that I need to put down on here. The main things I need to talk about. Yeah, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, basically, first is the story. The story is absolutely amazing. It probably is one of the best stories I've ever seen in anime. And I haven't watched very much anime. I've watched quite a bit of anime, but not enough to say I'm like an expert on anime or anything like that. But in terms of story, this is probably the second best part of this show. The story basically is a young boy, Monkey D. Luffy, is on his way to become the Pirate King, who rules over the seas, the 5 seas, I guess, or 6. I don't know if you consider New World and Grand, whatever. But the story is amazing. Something that happens in the first episode could come back in like episode 700 and get you. Like, spoiler alert, for example, when Sanji first got his bounty, or not his first bounty, but Sanji got his second bounty where it actually showed his face after Fishman Island. It said, wanted only alive, and in the recent chapter of the manga, which it hasn't come out in the anime yet because the anime is a little bit slower, it reveals to you that there's actually a reason behind it saying only alive. And I just find that so amazing. Oda knows exactly how to tell a story. He knows exactly how to pace everything. It's just great. The only story arc that I've had problems with so far is Dressrosa, because it was probably the longest arc that we've had. I mean, even in the manga it lasted a year, and in the anime it even lasted a year. Like, it's way too long for an arc, in my personal opinion. I mean, you could have a different opinion. You may like long arcs, but from what I could see, most people where I watched it did not appreciate the really long arcs, and they were actually getting very mad because of the pacing of the anime in Dressrosa. And I honestly don't agree with that completely, because I love this show. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. And yeah, I mean, the pacing, I could care less about the pacing. Really, I really couldn't. But I know a lot of people do, so story-wise, I'd probably give this an 8 out of 10. It's a great story, but the pacing can be really slow. Character development, oh my god, this is where One Piece comes out on top. Every character has a backstory that makes you relate to them a lot more. For example, I'm going to compare Naruto here. I know most people don't like comparing the big shonen animes, but Naruto, it didn't have great character, well, it had okay character development, but nothing compared to One Piece. Like Naruto, his parents died protecting him from the Nine Tails and stuff like that. But Luffy, well, let's not talk about Luffy. Let's talk about someone who I personally love their backstory. Sanji. Sanji, he was rescued by a pirate, and he basically starved, or almost starved to death. And that is the reason that he loves to feed people, or he has a rule that he must feed every hungry customer, no matter who they are. Even if they're an enemy pirate, if they're hungry, they're getting fed, because he himself has starved before, to where he had no meat on his bones. He was just bones. And Nami, the reason she loves money so much is because Arlong, he, you know, he made her collect money for all these years, and she was thinking that money is the only thing that makes the world run. That's why she loves money. It's just a few of the great character development that goes on in this show. It is honestly, I've seen no complaints on the character development at all from anyone, really. I mean, maybe people don't like it, but I personally love it. I give character development 10 out of 10. Best character development I've seen from any anime. I wouldn't so much say it is, great. It's pretty good. It's above average at best. The reason it's above average is because if you know what's going on in that arc, the action is so much better. But if you're just coming from something else, like if you're coming to see like an AMV or something like that, you don't know what's going on half the time. Like if you've never seen One Piece, you wouldn't know what's going on, and the fights don't seem that great to you because the One Piece fights have a lot of emotion behind them, and if you don't know where that emotion's coming from, you're not gonna want to watch the show. Because I've showed my friend plenty of the fights, and he just doesn't want to watch the show because he thinks they're boring because he's seen the fights, but he doesn't know the true story behind the fights and stuff like that. So overall action, I give it about a 6 out of 10. Filler, and yes, I'm gonna do filler. I didn't watch much filler. I watched quite a bit of filler in terms of like normal anime, but in terms of One Piece, I didn't watch much filler. I think there's about 98 episodes of filler in total. So yeah, I didn't bother. But I did watch a few arcs, and when I watched those few arcs, they were pretty good. I mean, they are development for the character. It's development that isn't necessary, but it is necessary because you actually get to see the other sides of them. Like, for example, I don't remember what the arc's called, but it was one with a dragon. And you see Luffy go out of his way and risk his life just to save this little girl's friend. He doesn't know if any of this is real, or he doesn't know if the story behind that dragon is real. He doesn't know anything, but he still goes out of his way to help that girl with her issue just because she was nice to him. And I find that very, very amazing. Yes, you could technically consider filler. Filler and non-canon are basically the same thing in certain agendas, because they both don't actually happen in the story. So I figure I'll throw in non-canon things in here with it. The movies are absolutely amazing. The movies are probably some of the best I've seen out of any anime. Especially, I love the dub of One Piece. I love it. But I also love the sub. Not as much as the dub, but I still love it. And those movies with the dubs, the emotion conveys perfectly, and the action is just amazing. And the action, I said it was a 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10, I don't remember. But if you were to watch a movie, the action goes up to like a 9 out of 10 immediately, because you don't need a backstory to that. You just see the action, and the action, the animation, and everything like that is top notch in those movies. I would definitely give the filler probably about a 4 out of 10 in the anime, in the actual anime, but the movies themselves and the non-canon things like that, probably an 8 out of 10. Animation. Animation is quite a big one. In the first 100 to 200 episodes, it's got the old animation, really old animation from like Dragon Ball Z when it first started. And that animation is awful. I don't like it, but it conveys a point. And they did go back to revamp most of the important arcs, such as the Arlong Park arc. That's fun to say, Arlong Park arc. But they also, the Barati arc, they refurnished that one. They went through all of Mary's adventures. They refurnished that. They really just care about this show. Like, some people say, no, I don't want to watch the show because the animation's so bad. Well, if you really don't want to watch it, skip the arcs that aren't as important and go back and watch the ones, or go ahead and watch the ones that are refurbished, and you'll be completely fine until the animation gets better. When the animation gets better, it's mediocre. I noticed around when the time skip happened, the animation got really good, and it stayed pretty good. But what I really noticed is in this recent arc, the Dressrosa arc, like, the animation has gotten so much better. I've noticed it's so much smoother. Like, for example, Kaido. When Kaido appeared, you know, his arm movements were really smooth, and it actually looked like they put time and effort into that. And another example is when Wall was fighting Doflamingo. When he pulled down his strings, it looked amazing. And one more example is when Smoker was fighting Doflamingo. Smoker's body and everything, the way the blood was like thrown on him, it looked amazing. I absolutely loved it. I think that's about it on animation. Early One Piece, probably about a 2 out of 10, because, you know, it's that old animation. And One Piece now, I'd probably say about an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. Not the best animation I've seen, but pretty good. Now, here's a category which you probably won't find on any other, you know, review. It's boobs. Now, you might think, oh, you're a teenage boy, you know, you want boobs in an anime, but I don't, because I feel like it's just fan service. There's no point in it. I mean, fan service is good. Don't get me wrong. For example, Burning Blood, the game I bought recently, it's got an entire pack for fan service. And I got it because I got the deluxe edition. But still, you know, fan service is fun. I don't have a problem with fan service. But when there's too many moments, if there's like one of those moments in each episode, it gets too much. One Piece is great on the boobs. Sounds funny saying. But One Piece is great on the boobs. It does not go overboard with them. It doesn't constantly show Nami's boobs just bouncing. For example, Fairy Tail. It doesn't show Robin's boobs bouncing or like constantly show her butt everywhere. It's, you know, completely fine. There is certain moments when this happens, and certain moments can be fine. It's fine with me if it happens like every 10, 20 episodes or something like that. Or maybe like spaced out a little bit. But not every single episode. Every single episode's too much. And it hurts to watch those things. It really does. But, yeah, on the boobs factor, I definitely have to say it's probably about a 5. Every now and then there's a little bit of fan service, but not too much. It's fine. Overall, great anime. I absolutely love it. It is my favorite, personally, so far that I've seen, besides one other. One other's tied with it for my favorite. But, yeah, overall, One Piece would definitely be a 9 out of 10. It is great. The story, the character development, the filler, everything, great about it. Only thing that I don't like about it is probably the action if you aren't into the story, if you haven't actually watched the story, and the animation for the first half of One Piece. Not really half, but like close to the first half of One Piece. The animation was awful. So, in total, the good things about One Piece is the story, character, the filler, and the boob factor. The bad things about One Piece is the first half of the animation and the action. But overall, great anime. Love it. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I do believe I'm going to be doing maybe like a One Piece Burning Blood review later this week, so if you're looking forward to that, go ahead and feel free to subscribe, you know. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you did not, tell me why in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.